When communicating with a loved one, some feelings you may experience include guilt or shame. You may feel responsible and that their situation is partly your fault, especially if you are a parent or spouse. Ultimately, you cannot control their decisions and had no control over the actions that led to this point. Resentment. Feeling very hurt or angry with the person in treatment is another common sentiment. A person's substance use can lead to financial problems in families, rifts in relationships, accidents, exchanging of cruelties, which is why time and change is imperative to help repair the damage done. Sorrow. Feelings of sadness can be common, as having a loved one in rehab allows you to reflect on all that has led up to it and the things that have occurred because of the addiction. Worry. You may worry about your child being depressed and lonely while in treatment, especially if they convey those feelings to you. It's important to remember that they are being looked after by medical professionals and are much safer than they would be on the outside. Residual trauma. Experiencing a loved one in active addiction is mentally exhausting and can be very traumatic. Talking to them if they are still angry in their situation can drum up feelings of fear and insecurity. It is best to seek therapy for yourself if you are experiencing this for often and for long periods of time. Al-Anon or other similar programs for loved ones are good resources for further support. Hesitation. If your loved one is very upset with you and tries to manipulate you into thinking that this was the wrong choice for them, you may go back on your decision or try to help them leave treatment. It may also make you second-guess your thoughts on their substance use and think you are being too hard on them. Relief. One of the best feelings is knowing that help is possible for your loved one, and to feel secure knowing that they are in a safe place where they will be looked after and cared for. As we have said before, your healing is important too. If a conversation with your loved one is not positive, it is perfectly okay to take a step back until more time has passed. Oftentimes, families and friends like to see progress and commitment on behalf of their loved one before reaching out, as there is much at stake. Knowing your loved one is now in rehab is the first step in this process, and it's an incredible one at that. The best way to help your loved one. Once you get in touch with your loved one, there are some ways in which you can be most helpful to ensure effective communication. If you can put aside your reservations, constructive conversations can set the ground for a more healthy relationship. Words of confidence. Raise their spirits by expressing enthusiasm and encouragement in their sober journey. Even if your loved one has had multiple stays in a program, there is nothing like having those little words said back to them, especially if they are unable to think it for themselves just yet. Forgiveness. While not explicitly forgiving them, they may be profusely apologetic at this time because of everything rushing to the surface. This often happens in early recovery. Interest. If they wish to share some of the things going on in treatment, ask questions and show eagerness to learn more. If their interest in their recovery is piqued, it will be even further strengthened if yours is too. Hope. Express that you are looking forward to the future and believe in their progress and potential. Having words of support can help them resolve to stick with their plan. While there may be bumps along the way, by maintaining a neutral stance, they will be less likely to react defensively or angrily. While you hope they will approach recovery with sincere conviction, there is no way to know the outcome right away. What we do know, however, is that positive reinforcement provides encouragement, and if you focus on healing and offering compassion, you will help propel your loved one forward. As we said before, each facility has a different protocol for communication. Some feel it's not helpful for the person's treatment until a few weeks in, when there's been some substantial progress. They may also measure the client's temperature to determine if they are in a good headspace to connect. Utilize the available resources, such as your loved one's counselor or specified point of contact. They can give you insight into how your loved one is doing. They may suggest writing a letter in place of a phone call, or maybe an in-person visit if the person is doing well. The best thing you can do is ask questions and also check in with yourself to know how you're feeling too. The facility will also want to ensure that the family and or friends are not enabling the client in any way. They will often require that visitors who also have experienced substance use disorders be sober for a certain period of time for in-person visits. They will also discourage inappropriate relations or relationships they deem detrimental to the person's recovery process. At the end of your loved one's treatment stay, you'll likely receive information about their discharge, aftercare, and ongoing treatment plan, as advised by the facility. They may want your opinion and insight for providing any important patterns or historical data that can be considered for when the client moves to the next phase, which will ensure their best chance at lasting recovery. Having a supportive network of family and friends can be motivational and helpful for a person who is in a residential program. Knowing that they have that outside support may inspire them to keep working harder because they know that they can be reunited if they continue to do well. If they encourage and support their loved one's new and sober lifestyle, it will further strengthen their resolve to continue the recovery journey. Granite Recovery Centers encourages communication with families, friends, and loved ones for their clients so they can build up their support network to rejoin once they are well. To learn more about visitation schedules, phone communication, and addresses for sending mail, we encourage you to reach out to your point of contact or contact us directly at 1-866-613-5980. We know the recovery process is not possible without support and connection. Many of us have walked this very same path and are happy to answer any questions you may have for yourself or your loved one.
If you or a loved one you know is suffering from addiction, please call Granite Recovery Centers today at 1-866-613-5980 or visit us online at www.graniterecoverycenters.com today.